Welcome to the Fat Guys with Smokers podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm John. We're a couple of overweight barbecue enthusiasts trying to share our love for sweet and smoky food with the world.
Thanks for hanging out with us as we talk about life, share recipes, successes, and failures that have all led to our love of cooking outdoors. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Fat Guys with Smokers. In studio. Officially, John.
Officially in studio.
Officially in studio.
As opposed to the times when we're unofficially in studio?
Yeah, like those. You know, that one time when we weren't here.
We should do that again.
Yeah. That was pretty uncomfortable.
I don't know. I think walking around with a new camera.
That's true. Tell us about your new camera, John.
It was a guilty indulgence. That it was on sale. So it's an Insta360 X3. And it is a 360 camera.
Yeah.
So it's got a lens on both sides, wide angle. And with it, you get like, I don't know, it's 360 degrees this way and like 355 degrees this way. So there's a very small spot at the bottom that you can't see.
Yeah. And you were saying you don't really have to worry too much about lining it up because it is what it is.
It was super cool. I gave it to my middle boy, Robbie, today. I was like, hey, just run over to the park, go down the slide, and come back. And he took off running, and with the app, you can take that video and say, track this guy's face.
Oh, wow.
And he's running and, pumping and just right on his face.
It stays right on his face center. That's pretty cool.
So hopefully it's going to give us another cool angle to have here on the podcast.
Yeah. Some facials.
Side by side.
That's what I'm talking about.
Speaking of which, the beard's coming in nice, man.
Dude, it is. I'm pretty happy. I had to trim it because it was starting to look homeless.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much upkeep a beard requires.
I mean, you can do nothing, but you look ridiculous. And then when the mustache gets long, that's the worst because food gets in it. And
I kissed Haley today, and I was like, I'm getting poked by my own mustache.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's how it's supposed to work.
Correct. Yeah, that's the worst part.
Yeah, and the cheeks.
Yes.
The cheeks
Yep.
get
You
all...
gotta. Yep. Yep.
So.
Yeah. The struggle is real.
It is.
First world fat man bearded problems.
Speaking of fat guys, our shout out today. Let me take a drink before I cough all over.
Do it.
Liquid libations. I'm not sure there's any other state of libation, but liquid libation sounds good. Adventures of a Fat Guy is his Instagram handle.
Yes.
And comes by recommendation of Haley, who said, and I quote, "He looks like one of your people." So I'm not sure what that means.
Well, I said when you said that, I'm both offended and honored at that distinction.
Yeah. So
as he should be.
Yeah. He's got food, restaurants. If you're into booze, he does a bunch of talking about fine spirits and beer on here, but some of the pictures of food that he has on here, this one I saw and thought of you, Mike. It is a hot dog that he does. Have you ever done the slot dog thing?
Where you cut them in half and put something in them?
No. So it's like a cross grid.
Oh, yeah.
That you put on it.
Like J-Dogs. Kinda.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it just like opens up the hot dog. But he does a hot dog that's been done with slots and grilled up with a Mexican elote on it.
Oh, hey-oh.
That I saw that. I was like, Mike would be all over this.
Oh, that's what I'm looking at with my sound on. Sorry.
Oh, I thought it was me. I think it was me.
Oh, well then, in that case, John, that's really offensive. Why would you do that?
My bad.
Yeah.
So, and now I forgot. I'm going to say it wrong. Nope. Adventures of a Fat Guy. I feel like he's our people.
He's basically one of us. I love it. A lot of deliciousness on there. Dude, these people, we got to up our Instagram game because these people, they get after it and it looks amazing.
I know. That was actually part of the reason I bought this. We're going to the land of the mouse.
Ugh.
Sorry, man. I'm all about it.
It's all
I'm
good.
excited.
I just haven't been there since I was 7, so I'm just kind of hoping my kids don't get too into it just because of the expensive line waiting aspect of it. But
well, D has already requested multiple Marco Polos from Charlie while he's there. I'm not sure I can help you here.
come on, man.
I can probably go with you again, though.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
But you want to talk about food, man. Disney knows how to do food.
I've heard the turkey leg, and there's something deep fried, it seems like, that everybody talks about.
Churros.
That's what,
Disney,
maybe that's what it is.
Best churros in the world are at Disneyland. And I've had them all over the place. They're delicious. And it's Halloween time, and they've got all sorts of different things set up. So,
Numbers.
I am sure there will be some food content hitting the gram while we're there. But, yeah, man, I don't think you're going to survive.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm not going to die on this hill, but
yeah,
I'm not against it. I just haven't done it as much as other people that rave about it. So I'm kind of like,
Yeah, and I think I've talked about it before. Like, my uncle works at Disney and has,
in Florida, right?
In Florida. So he's helped us, before being able to get deals and discounts. So we've been able to go more than most people do. But we're very much a Disney family. And I'm like buying this. Like, I can't wait to send Clay running into the park for the first time, holding this camera.
That's pretty cool.
I think it's going to be awesome.
That's a cool vision. I like that.
So
I support it.
Keep your eyes peeled on the gram. If not on Fat Guys, check it out on my personal page if you're cool enough to be allowed to follow.
Oh, wow.
Exclusive club.
That is exclusive.
No creepers allowed.
I like it.
So,
what are we talking about today, John?
One of my favorite things in the entire world.
Oh.
And something that Haley hates.
Really?
Hardcore hates.
Interesting.
Yeah. We're talking about hash.
Hash. Which I learned as I was doing research. You don't just want to type hash into Google. Because
I was very careful when
kind of hash.
When I hit ChatGPT to say the food kind.
Yeah.
Not weed.
Not the drug kind. Yeah.
But I did decide that the title for this episode is Fat Guys Do Hash.
Oh, I like it.
I mean, I feel like it's going to get a bunch of clicks.
And that's what we're about, man. Clickbait. That's where it's
100% clickbait. We'll see if we can drop on the graphics of the 8-bit glasses and then cigarette.
There we go. I like it. Hash.
Yeah, I'm not going to get around to doing that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I wouldn't. I don't know how you find time to do everything you do, man. I'm drowning.
It's an experience.
What's hash, John?
So hash.
Say I just showed up on the planet and asked you what hash, the food kind of hash, was. How would you describe it?
Heaven.
Oh.
I'm in heaven. I won't sing.
You nailed it.
But hash it's a combination of chopped food is the definition.
Oh. I like that.
Yeah. Most often, though, it's a chopped potato mixed with meat. So probably the most popular is corned beef hash, which super popular breakfast food. People eat it for dinner. I love it. My kids now love it. Haley comes home from Sunday meetings in the morning, so I think we talked about our responsibilities changed, and I got a different calling job. So I go to really early morning meetings now, and typically get home about as Haley's leaving for her leadership meetings, which means I get to hang out with the kids, and which is kind of cool. Yeah. I haven't ever done that before on Sundays. I've always been in meetings and stuff, but
that's cool.
I started making corned beef hash for me, And now it's turned into all of my boys. They're like, Dad, where's the corned beef hash? Why aren't we having corned beef hash? And Haley comes back from meetings and she's like, I don't like this.
She's not into it.
Canned corned beef hash visually is not appealing.
We've talked about this. It looks like dog food.
It does
like
until it's cooked. But then it's crispy, meaty. Eat it with fried egg.
We got potatoes in the corned beef hash already. So do you really just pop the can and heat it up, basically?
Yep.
Okay.
Put it in a pan. I put it on the Blackstone all the time, just to cook it down and get some of the fat out of it and crisp it up a little bit.
Okay.
But it was doing a little bit of research about it, and it is. Hash is as old as civilization is.
Yeah.
Because it's great for leftovers, and that's where I like it in barbecue.
That's all I've used it for is leftovers.
Yeah. But it comes from the French word hasher, which means to chop.
Oh, well, that's fair.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So, and that's probably got a French pronunciation. Hasher.
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 Haché.
Yeah.
Probably they don't say the end of their words, it seems like.
I have no idea.
I don't either.
But yeah, it was really a way to, and especially got popular in the 19th century here in the U.S., that it was all about, how do you use leftovers? How do you extend things? The 19th century was kind of hard.
Yeah.
It was
a rough time.
Had a couple of really big wars.
Yeah.
And the economy struggled. Kind of like today.
Yeah.
But it was there to extend your meal. So talk about maybe how you've extended some of yours.
Well, here's how I grew up, and we make fun of this all the time, and I just had it like a few weeks ago. My dad, growing up, every Saturday, I feel like, and maybe, I'm just remembering it differently, but he would take whatever was in the fridge, like any leftovers from the week, chop it up, and mix it with eggs. And that was what we had I literally went to his house last month on a Saturday morning to do a project for him. And he had eggs with broccoli and like beef and corn and all kinds of things. He just shoves it all in, mixes it all together. And that's how I grew up. Like, that was just normal. That's just what you did. And my wife thinks it's the most insane thing she's ever heard. But that's kind of what I do. So, for example, on Saturday, I had some leftover baked potatoes, so chopped them or cubed them up, and then I threw in, I do this basically the next day after I cook anything, but this was tri-tip that I kind of cubed up and threw in there, then just mixed it with eggs, and man, it was good. I feel like one thing I wish I had was just some more flavorful vegetables, like jalapenos or something like that to just throw in just to spice it up a little bit. I used holy cow and it was really good. But that's the only thing I feel like I'm missing is just a different flavor profile, because really what it tastes like is exactly what I put in it, eggs, tri-tip, potato. Yeah. And I feel like, I don't know, a pepper or something or an onion, which I never have, but if I threw that in there, it would just change it a little bit.
Yeah.
Help things blend a little better.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of putting onion in it. My boys don't like onions, but that's a great part about hash. You can hide a lot of stuff in there.
Yep.
But I keep a can of green chilies in my fridge.
That's a great idea, because that's what I'm talking. That'd be perfect.
And you never need a whole can of green chilies. Like, it's one of those things, like, you need a couple scoops of them, and then it just sits there, gets thrown away.
How do you store it in your fridge?
In the can, in a Ziploc bag a lot of times.
Okay.
We've got little teeny tiny Tupperwares that are like...
yeah, just dump it out into that.
I don't know what else you would ever use those for other than green chilies.
Yeah, maybe sauces or something.
Yeah, so... Yeah, sometimes I'll keep it in one of those.
That's a great idea.
But yeah, do that. And even a can of Rotel. So tomatoes, green peppers. Yeah, just it gives a little...
I've become a big Rotel fan this last year. Like, it's nice to just to throw a spoonful or two in for things like that.
Yeah.
Or like tacos or whatever. Like, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, they've got a really good like fire roasted rotel.
Yeah, I've noticed all the different flavors. I've just used the straight up original stuff.
No, the fire roasted one's money.
That looks good.
So, yeah, Haley's always like, "Who are you cooking for? Are you cooking for an army when I make baked potatoes?" Mm-hmm. Because like she's gonna eat maybe one. The boys are gonna share one, maybe two potatoes between the three of them, and I'm gonna eat one. Mm-hmm. And I always cook like 8 or 9 of them. Mm-hmm. And it's because I want them for hash.
Oh, dude, they're so good to throw in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, baked potato. The other thing that I'm personally a big fan of is adding a lot of cheese. Mm-hmm. I love cheese in my hash.
Absolutely.
So
that brings it together.
But it's super versatile, and you can really put anything in it. I think my 2 favorites are pulled pork and brisket.
Yeah. See, I haven't put brisket in it, but that sounds phenomenal.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, like, cooking for an army. I know you're talking about baked potatoes, but whenever I cook hash, like this last Saturday, I sliced 1 potato up, used like 4 eggs, threw maybe a cup of diced tri-tip in there, and there was so much food. Like, I can throw down. I could not eat it all. And I'm like, these are, like you said, trying to make food go further and stuff like that. Like, that's what it's all about. You can feed a lot of people.
Yeah. It also makes some of the best burrito filling you will ever have in your life.
I like that. Have you ever done that with your corned beef hash?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Every Sunday, almost.
And it's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I almost always have tortillas on the breakfast table. Mm-hmm. So we were out this week, so I used tortilla chips and ate it like dip.
I've done that before.
But yeah, it's great to extend a meal, and like you said, like it's super filling. But you do it as a burrito filling. You've got your potatoes, your meat, your eggs, your cheese. Like you just throw it in there, wrap it up, and
all the major food groups.
Go to town. And the best part is my boys are all over it.
Yeah.
All 3 of them. Like, they get mad now when I don't make it for them.
They're pretty into it, huh?
Yeah, they're super into it.
That's awesome.
I was just kind of looking through my notes here to see what other cool things to hit. But some of the pop culture references are interesting. Like corned beef hash is found in a couple of different spots that I hadn't even realized. Like it's in The Catcher in the Rye, bunch of TV shows. Mm-hmm. Like it's just a really iconic dish, and especially as you get into like diners, almost every one of them has a corned beef hash or some kind of hash, and they're all unique and like family recipes. So,
have you seen Gone in 60 Seconds?
Uh-huh.
You know when his little brother's cooking for him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's some hash there. Looks disgusting. And he goes to eat it, and he's like, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, when it's got way too much salt in it.
He, like, dumps the whole salt thing.
Yeah.
In. Let me ask you this. Have you ever heard of South Carolina barbecued hash?
I haven't, but I did learn that hash is highly regional.
Yeah.
And like in the Northeast, they do, specifically New England, it's called red flannel hash because it has beets in it.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not a big beet fan.
I mean, they're okay, but I don't know why you put them in a hash.
They're not okay. They're disgusting. But tell me more about this Carolina barbecue hash.
Yeah, so I kind of went down a bit of a rabbit hole. Today was parent-teacher conference, and I didn't have a lot of parents, so I went down a bit of a YouTube rabbit hole. But no, I watched a few videos, and I think it's more of a South Carolina thing, but it's kind of in the South. But this particular one that I'm thinking of right now, so she cooked it just like I would think. She sauteed some onions, and she threw in her kind of cubed potatoes, and then she mashed them with a masher as they got soft, and then she took her pulled pork and put it in a food processor and like shredded it like I don't know how
Was
else.
it still shredded or was it like
It was more
mush?
like, I would say almost mush. Like I'm thinking almost like tuna fish style
Yeah, it sounds
consistency.
I'm like envisioning baby food here.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Well, that's kind of, dude, I'm going to be honest. It looked like crap. But she threw it in, and then she put ketchup. And I know. She put ketchup and, shoot, what was the other thing? A little bit of apple cider vinegar. And just stirred it up. And she'd mash the potatoes. I mean, it looked like throw up. But they take that and they serve it over rice. And so I looked up barbecued hash. And this is what I was seeing. And I was like, man, I wonder if I've been doing hash wrong my whole life. And this is actual hash. Oh, come on.
nope.
You wouldn't try it at least?
No
Really?
way. I was done at ketchup.
Are you not a ketchup fan?
Ketchup goes on French fries and scrambled eggs.
You don't put it on your pulled pork?
No. Lord, no.
Oh. Anyway,
Doesn't-
it looked pretty gross, but like there were multiple videos of people. I think all of them were in South Carolina, just like, oh yeah, making some hash, serving it over rice. Like it did not look good, but enough people were into it that I'm kind of like, I'd maybe give it a try. John's over here dry heaving.
Nope.
Oh, come on, man.
No, man.
You have eaten grubs.
I have eaten grubs.
And you'd rather do that than ketchup on your pulled pork.
100% over the like processed puke over my rice.
I'll be honest, it did not look good. But there were, like I said, there were enough people that were into it that I'm kind of like, I'd maybe try a little bit.
No, man. There's a lot of people into jumping out of airplanes too. I'm never going to do that.
Well, I second that. That's true. Anyway, it got me thinking though. I mean, not like I couldn't do that consistency. I really couldn't. Like it just looks bad.
I'm like,
But I wondered, could you make a hash that you could then serve over rice? I mean, taking potato out, does that make it not a hash anymore?
I don't know. I mean, it just said like let's go back to the very beginning of the
Back to the very beginning.
hash in the context of food because I had to clarify.
Yep.
Not weed.
And please do that if you're Googling family-friendly
Typically
show.
refers to combining diced or chopped ingredients, often including meat, potatoes, and various seasonings.
Okay.
That's the definition.
So I guess it technically could be a little different.
I mean, we used to eat it, kind of that same concept in Peru.
Mm-hmm.
They called them tortillas, which it was somewhere between what you just talked about and like a Mexican or a Spanish tortilla.
Okay.
So a Spanish tortilla is potatoes with eggs cooked over the top of it.
Oh.
Almost kind of like a quiche.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
That's called a tortilla.
Yeah, in Spain that's a tortilla.
Okay.
In Peru, a tortilla is eggs with rice.
Okay.
So
where are tortillas what we call tortillas?
Mexico.
Oh, really? Huh. Okay.
Yep.
That's fair.
Yeah. So
Did you say eggs with rice?
So in Peru, rice is a major part of your meal. Like you had rice with every meal. And for breakfast, a lot of time, if you were having a hot breakfast, you would have a tortilla and you'd take rice and broccoli and kind of fry that up in a pan and then scramble eggs over the top of it. And it makes a little round egg thing called a tortilla. And they're delicious. I mean, it's fine. So I'm okay with the rice.
Yeah.
It's the pureed pulled pork.
I tell you what, dude, she threw that in the food processor, and I was like, "What's happening now? What's going on?" And my reaction was similar to yours, but you guys see it. Like it looks worse than it sounds.
Like it sounds like pate.
Yeah,
which is,
that's kind of what it reminded me of. But anyway, I don't know. If it was a huge hit somewhere, but I had never heard of it until today when I went down that rabbit hole. So maybe this is just like an exclusive cult that all got together and was like, dude, let's make this garbage and put it on YouTube. But Anyway.
Nope.
South Carolina barbecued hash.
I live there, man. Them people be crazy, and I ain't doing it.
That's all you needed to see, huh?
Nope. Let's talk about a couple of other types of hash here.
Okay.
We've talked about corned beef.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned red flannel hash from New England.
Uh-huh.
Southern hash, you often find ham or pork or even pulled pork in. And
Well, just like I described.
yeah.
Is there anything in there about tomato-based?
Often seasoned with
Sugared.
spices and sometimes served with a biscuit or cornbread as a side.
Oh, interesting.
I can get on board with that.
I love a good biscuit, man.
Oh man, cornbread. I've got an awesome cornbread recipe.
We've talked about this. I haven't had a good cornbread for a long time.
Dude,
I don't think my wife likes it.
It's good. A Midwest hash. It's typical to find ground beef or sausage there instead of corned beef.
See, that's probably what I have had most as far as hash goes. Because we always had some cow that my parents had bought, and so we threw some ground beef in and mixed eggs with it.
Yeah, and we never made hash with ground beef as a kid, but man, milk gravy with hamburger in it.
Oh, yeah.
We ate that over rice
Yeah.
all the time.
Dude, Whitney makes a great, she calls it,
Milk gravy?
yeah.
No?
No,
Country
she
gravy?
calls it, how are we with our language on here?
Oh, I'm not going to be. Oh, you talking about SOS?
Yeah, SOS. Crap on a shingle, if you will.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what she makes. It's really good. I'm a big fan.
Brown gravy?
Yep.
Was Kevin in
No,
the
she
Navy?
makes it with milk gravy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was Kevin in the Navy?
Mm-mm. But her
Grandpa?
her grandpa was.
Yeah.
Must be a Navy thing.
Yeah,
Huh?
SOS is a big thing in the Navy. With chipped beef.
Now, I think now that you're saying that, I'm pretty sure her mom has told us that her dad used to make that for him.
Yeah. Yep.
That's pretty cool.
I scrolled here. Now I got to get back.
I feel like I'm breathing really loud in the microphone. I'm sorry, everybody.
That's funny. I think that same thing every time too, and then I listen to it and it doesn't carry through.
Oh, really? So it's just in my head.
Yep.
All right.
Let's hit a couple other ones. Southwest hash, chorizo, jalapenos,
Yeah.
cilantro, onions.
I like that. Definitely like that.
Big fan of that. This is another. I don't know how I would feel about this.
Okay. I'm ready.
Pacific Northwest. What do you think we're going to put in it?
Pacific Northwest. So we're talking Sasquatch area, Squatchy area. I'm thinking fish, maybe.
Yep. Dungeness crab and salmon.
Interesting.
Which I know salmon people do for breakfast. I don't know how I feel about it.
Listen, I feel like a huge problem in America is that we hate everything we don't understand. I just don't have a lot of experience with seafood, so I can't say whether I like that or not.
I love seafood.
Yeah.
Love fish. Love salmon.
The new camera's beeping at you. It started recording again.
That works.
I don't know.
Probably hit a file size.
That's
Right
fair.
at about a half hour.
Perfect.
I love fish. Eat it, don't have any problem with it. But I like fish as fish.
Yeah. So we're throwing it in with what? Taters and eggs, or?
Yeah, it's I keep getting scrolled away from here. Let me read it. You might find hash variations that incorporate locally sourced ingredients, such as salmon or Dungeness crab, adding a unique seafood twist to the dish. Which, I don't know. I mean, I like potatoes with my fish.
Okay.
I just don't know about it all mixed together. And it's probably the eggs. I'm probably like thinking about the eggs, and if you take the eggs out of it, and I'm okay with
That
it.
wouldn't be too bad, huh?
Yeah, I just don't like my seafood mixed in with stuff.
Yeah.
Like, Haley's a big fan of like fettuccine Alfredo with shrimp on it. And I'm just like, nope.
Yeah. See, I could probably do that, but I'm kind of with you. I like my seafood to be my seafood, and then other things.
I love shrimp.
But we're talking, now listen, my seafood experience is like at the all-you-can-eat buffet
And
You know,
you and I
So-
need a road trip.
yeah, we probably do. I need to have my views expanded.
I'm just
in the seafood
thinking
area.
us in Texas barbecue and make sure we hit crawfish season. And eat crawfish and
Get a boil going.
get a shrimp ball.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Get prawns that are like as big as your hand.
I've seen pictures.
I've eaten. It's
So
delicious.
I've never had that. I've seen it made, and it looks amazing.
Yeah, and then probably the most famous of all the hashes are hash browns. Not really sure it's a hash, but
Just potatoes, then.
just papas.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of the base, and then everything else you throw in there.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of into that Southwest hash. That sounds interesting.
Right?
I never have chorizo. I mean, I'd imagine down there they always just have some chorizo. But
Yeah. When I worked from home, we always had it in the fridge.
really,
I love it. I love chorizo.
I don't know that I've ever even cooked with it. I've seen it, but I've never cooked with it.
Yeah. No, it's delicious.
But I love that idea of peppers and jalapeno and spices and chorizo.
Yeah.
That sounds really good.
So, very cool. I think we're about at that point.
Yeah.
But before we wrap,
playing our song.
yeah, before we wrap it up, I do have to tell you one thing that happened
Oh,
today. Pretty cool.
okay. I'm hearing this for the first time for the record.
And what I was gonna say was gonna sound super sketchy, so I'm not gonna say it.
Okay. I'm not sure how to take that.
At the end of Charlie's football game,
Uh-huh.
a bunch of his teammates came up and like fangirled over me. And they're like, "I listen to your podcast."
Hey-o!
So
We're reaching Gen Alpha.
yeah, what is Gen Alpha? Someone
think-
said that the other day, and I was like, "What is this?"
I think Damon and Charlie are like the beginning of Gen Alpha, from what I
Gen
understand.
Alpha.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways,
Yeah.
bunch of 10-year-olds think we're pretty cool.
Hey, we'll take what we can get, man. We need all the validation we can get.
He came up to me and I was like, "Why do you listen to my podcast?" But I'm down.
Sweet. Maybe tell your dads. I mean,
Yeah,
whatever.
do your parents know?
Do you get online with your parents' permission?
That's a great part about dots and those other round orbs. What do they call them? Home pods
Oh yeah,
or the Google.
yeah, that's true.
All you got to do is say, "Play Fat Guys with Smokers."
That's
and
true.
Magic happens.
When my kids figured that out, they were giddy. So
Yeah.
I think we got 45 views that day because they were just play it, play it, play it. Anyway, well, John, you're tripping.
I'm tripping.
Trip safely, my friend.
Thanks, man.
That'll be awesome. Look forward to some sweet mouse content.
Yeah, we will talk about the mouse in Anaheim next time
I'm excited.
on Fat Guys with Smokers. I'm John.
I'm Mike.
This is Fat Guys with Smokers. Thanks for listening to the Fat Guys with Smokers podcast. Be sure to check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Be sure to subscribe so you don't forget to tune in for even more nonsense from a couple of Fat Guys with Smokers.
Don't forget to like, subscribe.